Hello and welcome to SoulTopia Shenanigans with Michelle Welch. Thanks for joining me tonight, you guys, live. I have had a pretty full day. I don't know about you guys. Pretty full day, so we're rushing in, and hopefully you guys are tuning in. If you don't tune in live, you can always catch it later. I wanted to explain a little bit about why I ask you to subscribe to the YouTube channel. There are a lot of free videos on that YouTube channel that I have kind of, taken my time and taken some effort to put together for you guys. And I just want, if I didn't really feel that they were like worth your time, it's nothing to subscribe. It costs you absolutely nothing. So when I do readings on the show, I really wanted to explain that. It's not like I get any money from it. I don't monetize my YouTube channel or anything like that. It's just that I want to be fair to those who are subscribing, because that is kind of what I've asked you to do when I do readings on my show. So yes, it gets you to follow it, doesn't make you watch it, but I think it'd be to your benefit to watch some of those free shows that we have. I don't know how many we have now. I used to do another radio program. It was a radio program that was videoed, and they lost like 50 of my shows. Precious people. I'm sure they're backed up somehow that I could get those, but I really just want you to have the advantage. These aren't going to be lost, I don't think, on YouTube, and they're also updated every so often on my website at www.soultopia.guru, or on our store's website. So really, it's for you guys that I am saying to subscribe to that. There's nothing I really get out of that at all, okay? And if I did, or someday I choose to monetize it, I'll let you guys know that I'm doing that. Tonight I wanted to talk a little bit about the fact that we also have just been so grateful to all of you throughout our move here to our new location. That's one of the things that really came up for me during this Thanksgiving time, was just how grateful we are to all of you that have been so supportive. We have Carla here with us tonight. She's sitting in. She was at the meditation. We have meditation on Monday nights before this show as we go live, so it's kind of crazy in between. It's like meditate and then run in here. But tonight, Carla came to the meditation, and she lives in Oklahoma. And so I'm just so grateful for all of you. We have listeners, we have people that follow us from even out of the country that have kept up with our store and supported our store. We have Lexi Colomb that's dear to us, her whole family in South Dakota. And so we just really want to, at this time of year, thank all of you for what you've done for us, because there would not be any SoulTopia without all of you guys. Roger was talking to me tonight saying he finally looked at our growth in the past year, and we have more than doubled in growth in our store. And that's almost unheard of for any type of investing or anything you'll do. And we are not directly benefiting from that yet. Roger and I are not. Everything we do is going back into the people who work for us and into the store and to you guys. So we just wanted to thank you so much for that. With that said, we had a great weekend of people coming into the store and taking advantage of the sales. We are very fair in our pricing, and I'm going to say this because it's very important to me. We're very, very fair in our pricing. I was raised with the belief that, because this was my dad, he couldn't stand coupons. He just absolutely couldn't stand them, and it was before everybody put out so many coupons, but there were, coupons for the grocery store, get this much off, or I don't think even like green stamps back in the day. My mom would take me to the green stamp store, I loved going. Okay. So, he just didn't like them because he knew, yes, it's a form of marketing. It is. Okay. There's nothing wrong with marketing, but he also knew that a lot of places would mark up their prices and inflate their prices to then say we're having 60% off of everything in the store or whatever. And I'm not saying everybody who does that is inflating their prices. Everyone, they're not going to stay in business if they don't have some markup on their products, but we do bring very fair pricing to you. So our sales are pretty in line with that. If you're getting a 25% off deal at SoulTopia, trust me, you're getting a deal. It takes a lot for us to say that. And if it's on the 50% off table, which we're keeping up this for I don't know how long, those aren't things that are just like dud things in our store. Those are things that I'm like, oh, put some more stuff on the 50% off table. So Roger does. So I just wanted to let you guys know that too, because if we find, I've told you this before, if we find a good price on a crystal, we're going to pass that along to you. And we go to a lot of places and we know a lot of people. So we do shop around and we pass those deals along to you. So thank you for keeping on coming in and telling more and more people about SoulTopia. So enough of that. Let's get to what we're doing tonight. I've talked about Mel Brown on a couple of shows now. She is one of the authors that came in our store, and we had 3 or 4 authors in a row that came into our store in a row and on like one weekend. Some of them very well known, and Mel Brown is one of them. She's from Australia. And you've seen me talk about her cards before. She has 3 decks, and she is an Aboriginal. And I've explained to you guys what an Aboriginal was before. I won't go way into it. I have fallen in love with her card decks. I have so many decks of cards. I'm a collector. But I have fallen in love with her card decks because she was such a gentle soul. I love her, and funny. She's hilarious. And her husband was with her, and their relationship was hilarious. They kidded with each other the whole time. They didn't put on airs. They were very genuine, and they were actually willing to tell us, this is how you do cards. This is how you get your card started. If you want to write a book, this is how you write a book. And it was just very timely for the people who came. We learned so much about not only her culture, but about how to do things in this business. A lot of people will say they want to write a book or they want to do a deck of cards, and they don't even have any idea how to do it. And a lot of people aren't real forthcoming with that information. She totally was forthcoming with it. And this was, I believe, her second deck is the one I have tonight, the Aboriginal Goddess Chakra Oracle by Mel Brown. And I can't say enough good things about them. So I'm going to be reading from that tonight. One of the things I like so much about her is she does her own artwork and she does her writing of her book. And when I read, a lot of times, I don't necessarily read what the book says. I'll read it maybe one time and then put it away. But I'm, like Carla, I am a student. I am always learning. I'll call it a scholar. We're a scholar of life. We like what other people have to say. I'll always listen to whatever somebody else has to write or to say. Doesn't mean I'll agree with it. She is great at her writing and her messages. So I've always said to people, if you have to look in the book and you're reading, then boy, that's a bad reader. Well, hers are some that I kind of want to look at. She has so much wisdom in her little books that for her interpretation of her cards. So I highly recommend them. So I'm going to be reading from those tonight. So one of the things that came to mind when I was thinking about that is talking about how you read and talking about how you give messages. I like to call messages or intuitive messages instead of psychic readings. I will use those terms because people know it, but I like to call it messages because I'm getting a message to give to you. A lot of people will say to me, well, that just sounds like, you're talking in the same voice, or it may just sound like practical advice. I've joked about this because one time somebody said to me, are you giving me legal advice? And I was like, no, because that would be $450 an hour. I'm not giving you legal advice, and I'm not allowed to do that. So I'm giving you advice that comes to me through my guides. Sometimes I will tap into your guides. Your guides will be around me or around you, and those guides communicate with one another just like we do. Okay, there's feedback, but usually it's my guide, and my primary guide is Raziel. And I almost always have my little Raziel crystal with me. When you do the class with me, you get a crystal, or when you do a healing with me, you get a crystal. It may take like 3-4 months to get it because Roger's way behind on doing the crystals, but it's a bonus anyway. And people are very patient about that because these take a while for him to do. So I just wanted to mention that briefly too. I'm covering a lot of topics at once, but I wanted to mention that Raziel. I call it Stellar Gateway Healing now because what that does is I've had so many people talking to me lately about all this karmic contract stuff and all this stuff that they feel they're not getting past karma. I believe you can. I believe you can break those contracts. If you entered that contract, I believe your higher self entered into that contract. So why can't your higher self decide, I'm not going to do that anymore. Now, you'll need to ask, is this for my best and highest good? But you have free will. So if you have free will, why can't you get out of karmic contracts that you decided to do anyway? I mean, it's common sense, right? So anybody who says you can't get out of them, I would beg to differ, because you agreed to them and you have free will. Is it always for your best and highest good that you get out of them? I'm not sure about that, but I do believe when I do the Raziel or the Stellar Gateway healing, that your highest and best good, this is the intention I set, will never interfere. If I am clearing something out of your stellar gateway, that's where karmic residue is held, nothing will go that needs to stay. Okay, your higher self will know what needs to stay. That's why, yes, have guides, but I don't talk about them as much anymore as I used to, because I believe we're going into a time where we are getting to know our higher selves. That is the point, actually, and then to be, when we're in connection with our higher self, which we always are, just remember and figure out how to tap into that, and then we're tapping into source, because our higher self and we are part of source. Okay, so Raziel, crystal, do you guys have crystals that you just have with you all the time? Do you kind of wonder, okay, mine are usually here, that's where they are, or here, or, other people put them in their bras or in their pockets, but your purse can get like really heavy, right? Like if you carry them in your purse, it's like, oh, I have some in my purse, because I like to make grids when I'm out. So I'll just pull them out and I'll get the cards out and I'll just make grids out in nature with whatever we have. And Roger, what crystals do you have in your pocket? What's in the car? What's over here? And we'll make grids. But we started carrying these little things at SoulTopia, and a lot of them are a lot more plain than this. This is like the fanciest one. But I love stuff like this. You could make your own, or you could get them somewhere else. You could get them here. The reason, it's not like you have to come to SoulTopia to get them, but I think they're fun. And also the ones that have the little clips like this that Roger makes, the reason we did these, and you can get them with 3 or even 5 clips, okay? The 5 gets a little heavy around your neck, but the 3 look really pretty. And we do a thing where we'll even make them for you based on what your favorite colors are, colors you don't care for, what you want more of in your life, and what you would like to see less of in your life. And based on that, we will do a custom. I'll choose the crystals and channel what you need, and then Roger will wrap those crystals, and you can wear them that way. And then if you have the hook, you can always change them out. That's why we came up with this. So I just really wanted to talk about the crystals, because the other day I didn't have any of my bracelets on. And I didn't have any, I've been to yoga, and I'd taken off my bracelets, and I'd taken off my necklaces, and I didn't get them back on. And I don't know who it was, but I said to somebody that was up here at SoulTopia, I was like, do you really ever notice when you don't wear your crystals that you'll be like in a funk, or you'll be like, I was like really angry. I was just kind of in a bad funk. I was like, what is going on? There's no reason. I was like, I don't have anything on that I wear literally every day. And so do I think it can make a huge difference? Of course I do. I think it can make a huge difference if you, all of a sudden, you've been wearing these crystals every day, and then all of a sudden you just don't have them. They're just nowhere around. And you're wondering, here I am, the crystal teacher, the crystal healer, and I'm going, oh, wait, wow, I'm surprised by that. I don't know why that surprised me. It should never have surprised me. I brought tonight, I don't know if you guys can see them, I also have ones that are my personal crystals. I give out a lot of crystals, and I've been gifted a lot of crystals. In fact, Cassie gave me this beautiful crystal. I call it my dreamsicle. I'm usually holding it for every gallery that I do. She knew that I was drawn to it in my store. It was my own store, but she was nice enough that she gave it to me. It was my birthday, I think. Yeah, so it was my birthday. So I've had it for a while. I would say that there are wonderful crystals that you have that are just your personal crystals, and then someday you may gift those. I have one from a friend of mine. It's here. This one he brought me from France. I'm very connected to Mary Magdalene, and I love those cards too, by the way. I did something on Facebook with those. Did y'all see that? Those are the most beautiful, some of the most beautiful cards I've ever seen. And he brought this from right where she would teach in France. And he pulled this from the wall. And it's some sort of rock, crystal. I don't know what it is. So, but I love it. And then, of course, there's this that Roger got one time, and they told him it was dinosaur poop. I thought that is one tiny dinosaur, okay? So I have my personal collection, and many times I will end up going over and getting something from my personal collection when I really feel somebody is really in need of something. Okay, I promised you guys I do readings, so I'm going to do them. Remind me before we go to talk about this, okay? Because normally, well, I'll tell you when you remind me, okay? All right, so ahead of time, quite a few people said they wanted readings, and I knew I'd ramble like I did. Sorry. So I am going to do a reading first for Leslie Slayton. And I don't know Leslie personally. Let me tell you something. Even if you know people personally, if you are channeling, you can read. So anybody who thinks, oh, she knows too much about my stuff, because I have lots of people I talk to in here. Just because someone knows about your stuff doesn't mean they can't read for you. Right? A good reader can read for you. And sometimes the opposite of what you think is going to come out will come out. Okay, as long as they're actually tapping into the message they're supposed to give you and letting ego get out of the way. So don't ever think a friend can't read for you. That'd be sad, because then I'd be like, okay, I have to always go to a stranger for my information? No, you don't. Right? You're a good friend of yourself, and you actually can read for yourself too. Okay? I hope you're a good friend of yourself. Sometimes I'm not. Sometimes I'm not a great friend to myself, right? Okay, Leslie. I actually am going to tell you, normally I totally randomly draw. I was meditating ahead of time, and I chose a couple people, and I randomly drew. Cassie saw me. I drew cards, but to save time and have to explain because I get ADD and sidetracked, I have your cards ready, okay? They were randomly drawn, but just not doing that on the show. So, but they're out of order because I know that, okay, they're going to go this way. So, Leslie, what I drew for you was I drew two cards for everybody. And I drew from this deck that I talked about earlier. I drew Buddha. This is from the white chakra. Okay, so this is the crown. Both of your cards came from the crown chakra. And a card that she calls the white chakra goddess. All right, so here's the reading I get for you. Buddha was born to a king, right, around the 6th century BC. And his dad kept him in the palace. But Buddha always knew that he needed to get out amongst the people. He always knew he needed to meet people who were going through harder things, through hardships in life. And Buddha's teacher, his mentor, took him outside of the palace, and he began to get amongst the people. And that's how he became Buddha, meaning the enlightened one. And so for you, when you were told to wall yourself off, okay, this has been a big thing that's been coming up for me lately. When you're told, oh, just surround yourself with good energy people, this doesn't apply to you. You are called to be among people who are hurting. Hurting people sometimes hurt us. So do we wall ourselves off and cut them off and say, no, I don't agree with that? It's been a huge message for me lately, and it's very different than the message a lot of people are giving. Do we be protective of ourselves? Yes. But you may get hurt because you are to be amongst those who are hurting. And people, I'm going to repeat it, people who are hurting hurt people. And sometimes they may hurt you because you're giving and you're trying to help and you're helping and you're doing what you're called to do in your life purpose. You're a nurturer. And it may hurt you that you're not getting back as much as you give. That's your purpose. And with the white chakra goddess, it's the same. You have this higher spiritual calling that is different, and my voice is almost quivering about it. It's different than most, and it's what we all would like to become more enlightened. But part of that is knowing for you that you tune in to those who are hurting and in need. And it's just part of your calling. When people want to know their life purpose, that's what life purpose is. Life purpose isn't what we do for a living. It may coincide, but our life purpose is what we're to do to help and serve others, not always ourselves. And I know that is not a message that you always hear in the metaphysical community, but you're hearing it from me. Okay? That's your message. Okay. Thank you. Okay. All right, Melina O'Connor. And Melina, is that how you say it? If I'm saying it wrong, I'm sorry. And if I pronounce anyone's names wrong, I'm sorry. I know people are very particular about their names, and I know there's a big power in names. Please forgive me. I remember people's energy. That's what I remember, and I'll remember that always and more than your name. There's just, for some reason, I do. Okay? I'm working on it. But I've been working on it my whole life. Just like I've been trying to be like more of a morning person my whole life, and that's not going to ever happen. All right, it's not. I don't want it to happen, so it's not going to happen. Okay, so the next one we're going to do is Melina, and I am thinking, yeah, I'll put him here. All right. So Melina, I got, again, 2 cards for you. One is the blue chakra fairy. So this obviously has to do with the heart chakra. I'm going to pull out my raw blue lace agate here to go with this. I know you know with the heart chakra, with the throat. Did I say heart chakra? I'm meaning throat chakra, okay? And I'm really am meaning throat chakra. I know you know what that has to do with speaking your truth. But here's the deal. It's also about people listening. And then when people don't listen, sometimes what we do is we clam up, because we feel we may be persecuted for a different opinion. Like that opinion I just gave, okay? I just gave in a reading, and because they've been working with me on it, it's obviously coming out in readings. It's something that I don't always want to say because it's against what a lot of people say, and even some of my close friends, and that's great. That's fine. It's different, okay? So you have a message that sometimes is different. And you may sometimes, you think you don't clam up, but I'm going to tell you sometimes you do. You clam up and you don't fully deliver that message for fear of the ramification and judgment of others. It is time for you to deliver the message. So I will tell you, now is the time to deliver your message that you've been holding back on. All right, now, I was holding it upside down. This is connection to your goddess energy. Now, you're thinking, oh, I do connect to my goddess energy. Here goes another one of those, regular messages. Here's what I'm going to tell you. Ooey gooey is sometimes okay. Okay? It is. We don't have to be hard asses all the time to prove we're strong women. The nurturing aspect of us can come out. You're a classy lady. I don't know if we've met, but I know you from Facebook, okay? And these interactions. But you're classy. That is lacking. Manners are lacking in our society. I feel like that has something to do with your message. Is to project that. There are so many people craving that and craving to be taught how to treat others, but the message is not going to necessarily be one that you want to deliver. So I'm not sure what it is. I hope you know. And this connection to your goddess is different than connect to your goddess and be strong and tough and your warrior side. It's saying it's okay to embrace the soft, nurturing side. I don't mean wimpy. That is not what soft and nurturing means. In fact, people who nurture They are not wimps. Nurturers are not wimps. People who take care of their elderly parents, people who nurture, children. We know you're not wimpy when you do that. That's hard business. That's tough business. And in the softness of that is where we find strength. And that's a big part of your message. So whatever it is you were thinking you don't want to say because it's not going to be received, it's time to say it. Okay? All right. The next one we have is Jenny Alterman. Is that right, Alterman? All right. Jenny. Okay. It's Jenny. I can pronounce Jenny correctly. I feel pretty confident in that one. Okay. This one was interesting, Jenny. I'll show you the pictures in a second. There is something that's being presented to you that you want to take this opportunity because you feel like you've waited long enough. And you, in your gut, know that it's not the right opportunity, but it sounds really, really good. Like everything around it sounds really good, but your gut's telling you, but there's something about it that is just too good to be true. Okay? But you want to take the path because you've been waiting. You want to go there. But there's that little nagging doubt. Okay, listen to the nagging doubt. So whatever that opportunity is, I would implore you, just wait. You've waited this long, you can wait a little bit longer. Okay? And it was both cards. It popped out. Both cards, it's just popping out to me that it just, your emotional response is what you need to listen to. We are given emotional responses for a reason. You know how we're given physical illness for a reason? It's or pains, a pain or something. It's to tell us something's going on. You don't want to mask that because you want to know what's going on. Well, it's the same with emotional responses. People are like, oh, people are too emotional. No, we have emotional responses for a reason. It's so it tells us to be careful of something or go for it. I love this person and I feel totally good about it. Or it tells us, emotionally, I just don't feel so good about that. It's not making me feel very good about myself. Listen to that. You're given that emotional response. All of us are for a reason. And too many of us think, oh, I should ignore that. And they tell us to ignore that. They tell us to ignore that and listen to your logic. No, listen to your gut. Because your logic will talk you into all kinds of stuff or out of stuff that you should be doing. Listen to your gut. That first initial just gut response. And I'm telling you that whatever it is, and I pray and you need to meditate if you don't. There is something that's being presented to you that is too good to be true. You know that phrase. And you're wanting to go down that path, that yellow brick road, so to speak, because it sounds really, really good. I'm just going to say, don't ease on down that road, okay? Because that is not the road to take. It is not going to be easy for you. So just hang on a little bit longer. Okay. So we have Natalie Walker next. All right. Okay. This is about change for you. All right. So the first card is called Magical Dreaming. It's from the third eye chakra. Okay. So I won't get into everything that I was explained by Mel, who wrote these cards, that dreaming is for Aboriginals, but it's much more than it is for us, okay, and if you're not Aboriginal, okay, it's something very specific for them. But for our reading, for our purposes here, our dream time is when we can explore things that we might not want to normally do. That's not all it is, but think about this. That is a time that we can take risk and do things that maybe we are fearful to do when we're awake. So you can set an intention that I'm going to have this dream and I'm going to have this journey in my dream. But it's about change. Because here's the thing. You keep sticking to what you're doing. And it's not just you. So I'm not picking on you. You keep sticking to what you're doing, expecting change, but you're not changing anything. And if you don't change anything, then you can't expect change to just magically happen. So your dream time is a time for you to set the intention, and even if you don't remember it, to experience that, so you're going to begin to overcome the fear. And then it'll take you into your creative space, which is our form of self-expression. And if we don't have our creativity, we don't necessarily have self. So if you're afraid to step into that zone that's just not so safe to you, okay, it's an area that you are just like, I'm afraid to do that. That I'm going to be hurt. Somebody's going to hurt me. God forbid, goddess forbid, that somebody hurt us. Okay? I've been hurt a lot. And let me tell you, the more you step into what this creativity is, there will be naysayers. They are going to be people, they are going to tell you, don't do that. That's not going to work. No. Guess what? They didn't step into their change. So when we step into our change, some people don't like it. You've heard it. When people lose weight, a partner doesn't all of a sudden like it because they didn't come along on the journey. So friends do that. Alleged friends do that. And do we get hurt? Yeah, we do. We get hurt. But guess what? If we just stay put and we don't make any changes, and 5 years later we're still talking about the same things, we're still getting readings about the same things, then we've chosen to just stay put. A change is necessary for you to step into this that you're fearing. And then you will be all that you were supposed to be. But the thing is that all that you are supposed to be is going to threaten some other people. And you've been there before and you're scared to go there again. Just practice it in your dream time and then go for it. And I'm going to tell you up front, already I'm going to tell you. And this does come from me speaking from experience. You will have people who don't like it because they weren't the ones who were supporting you, and they weren't the ones who were telling you, go for it. And I'm going to tell y'all something. True friends want to see you succeed. Facebook's a really silly thing. We count how many likes we get, and if you say you don't, okay, whatever. You're not being honest. Okay? So, but so-and-so didn't like. True friends. I have a true friend that on my other personal page, not the Michelle Welch, another personal page I have, I've known her for over 20 years. She will always be the one to like, and she doesn't do any of this, but she still supports me and still loves me, even though she doesn't believe in it. She will be the first one to support every single thing my kids do, every single thing that I do, every single failure I have. She will be there to support me, and every single success. It's real easy for people to support you in failure. That is really easy. That is not how you judge a friend. Now, I'm going to use the word judge. That's not how you determine your true friends. Because, boy, they will come out of the woodwork when you have failure. They are so sorry for you, and that is so sad, and they're there for you. Were they there for you during your successes? Now, that's the opposite of the way most people will tell you, because they'll tell you, oh, they're there to ride your coattails. What I'm talking about is those ones who are jealous. Okay? Gonna call it what it is. Okay? They are envious of success. So your true friends, when you step into the fullness of you and you're flourishing, and they're not going to get anything out of it, those are your true friends. Okay? because it's really easy to be there when somebody, you post something or you tell somebody, I just tried this and it was a complete failure. Oh, they're all over that. They have so much to say about that. Be there for people and rejoice in their successes and be there to support them when they have failures. That's a true friend. Okay, so I was going to read for some more people tonight. A couple of you, I'm going to tell you what I got for you. I'm not going to say your names. Just a couple. You're going to receive an inbox, okay, from me. It's not because it's horrible or scary. It's just something that I didn't feel I should discuss online because I'm pretty blunt in my readings, and I'm not going to hold back. So I felt that would be better for me to give you an inbox and that. So if I didn't get to you tonight, please keep trying because I just can't get to everybody, and then I don't give the fullness of what I'm meant to say on the air. And I won't do anything on the air that I feel, again, that maybe is better for a private conversation. Readings are real, and we get real messages, and they're not always fluff. But it doesn't mean they're scary either. It's just maybe private. All right? Here's what I was going to tell you about this before we go. Y'all know about our bracelets, hopefully. We channeled a seahorse, a brand new totem. And this is the seahorse. We finally channeled this. Our dear friend Joan is in my intuitive class on Thursday night. It came up like a year ago. We used charm casting about a year ago in class. We do that a lot in our class, and as a way of reading. And the seahorse was there, and we were like, "What is a seahorse? I mean, they're really they're interesting little fellas, but what do they do?" And she was just all of a sudden she told us all about the seahorse, and so we knew for a while that we needed to have a soul seahorse totem bracelet. And it says on here, honor your emotions and your intuition, birth your creativity, balance your feminine and your masculine. It's got rainbow hematite, cobalt hematite, blue matte agate, and they all have wood if they're animal totems. So why I brought that up tonight is to tell you guys that usually after the show or either on the show, if I have a guest, I always give them I have a guest on the show, I give them a bracelet for being on my show. I don't always show doing it, but I do that. So what I thought we'd do when we don't have a guest, I am going to put names of those who joined us while we were live. Carla's your name will go in because you're here, and I'm going to put your names, even if it's just a few of you. It's going to be fair. I'm going to put your name in a basket or whatever, and I'm going to draw, and whoever I draw their name, they're going to get the bracelet for that night, okay, just for tuning in live. And I know you can't always do that, but that's the only way I can know, okay? I can't put everybody's name in. So we're going to do that, and the bracelet you're going to get is the seahorse. If you already have it, then you'll gift it to somebody else, okay, if you win it. If you're out of town, we'll send it to you. All right, so I'll get a hold of you and see how we need to get it to you. But mainly, I just want to thank all of you for listening, and thank you, Cassie, as always, for doing all this hard work to set up. I really appreciate you. We have so many things coming up, so check us out on the website, www.soultopia.guru. We have calendars of events on Facebook. I put it everywhere. I try to not send you too many emails. I would love for you to register or sign up for our newsletter. You can do that online too. I really try. I tell you, from one person this last time, have y'all been getting the emails like constantly? From one store, I got 4 a day for like 5 days. I was like, I've got the message. Stop. So we do send an email once a week, and this week we did have a few more. Want to say one more thing, and we're going to go. Our holiday party this year is going to be our SoulTopia Sensation. So there are going to be free readings, free giveaways. We always have free giveaways, right? But not all the readings are going to be free. Let me clarify that. Roger's going to kill me. And the readers are going to kill me. But some of our readers have agreed to donate some readings to the party for free. And there's some good readers. I mean, like, y'all be some really good readers. So, and everybody we have here is a good reader. So depending on what you want. That's another thing. Everybody has a different opinion of what's a good reader. So, as long as they're professional and I know that they're channeling, then we have good readers. We're always checking them out. We always want to hear back from you guys what you think. But rambling again, rambling tonight, aren't I? But listen up. Here's the thing I want you to hear. That is our party. All right. Last year we had our grand opening at our new location, and we had it at night, and it was wonderful, and it was packed. You could barely move in here. That was wonderful. But this is going to be from 12 to 6 on the 17th of December, and that will be our party, and we do want to honor you at that time. So there will be a lot of free things. And just so Carla knows, I think I told you ahead of time, but she's always like dressing up. She's best dressed here. It is, I didn't want to do it because everybody else does it, but Roger said he had to wear his ugly sweater, his ugly Christmas sweater. So it is ugly Christmas sweater is the theme. I wanted it to be like winter white, beautiful. No, Roger won out because he was like, I have a sweater and I'm going to wear it, whether you do it winter white or not. So, and he's like, how are you going to judge winter white anyway? It's like white. They're all in white. How are you going to say who wins that? We give a $50 gift certificate to the winner of that contest. Cassie's like going, cut it off. So I'm going to say bye to you guys. I'm going to tell you thank you. I think I talked about everything here. And just check us out. And please come to our SoulTopia Sensation. You guys are all invited. And Crystal, cheers. Until next time.